When Po used the Wuxi Finger Hold on Tai Lung, everyone assumed that was the end. The villain was gone. The valley was safe. Story over. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Tai Lung didn't die. He went somewhere, and for years we had no idea where. Then Kung Fu Panda 4 brought him back. And suddenly, everything we thought we knew, it doesn't quite add up anymore. So let's ask the question no one's really answered yet. Where was Tai Lung all that time? What was he doing in the spirit realm while Po became the dragon warrior, while Shen rose and fell, while Kai returned from the dead? Because when we see him again in Kung Fu Panda 4, something's different. He's not the same rage-fueled warrior who tore through the Valley of Peace. He's calmer, colder, almost resigned. And that doesn't just happen. So if you've ever wondered what really went down between that golden flash in the first movie and his quiet return in the fourth, stay with me, because the answer is darker and more tragic than you might think. Let's start with what we know. The Wuxi Finger Hold sends you to the spirit realm, not death, not oblivion, just somewhere else. A place between worlds, a place where warriors who've been defeated, who've left the mortal plane, end up wandering. And Tai Lung, he arrives there in the worst possible way, defeated, humiliated, destroyed by a panda. Think about that for a second. This is a warrior who spent 20 years in prison nursing one singular belief, that he was destined for greatness, that the dragon scroll was his, that he was owed something by the universe, and then in one moment, all of it gets ripped away, not by Shifu, not by Oogway, but by some clumsy, overweight, noodle-loving panda who barely knew Kung Fu a week ago. That's what Tai Lung carries into the spirit realm. Not just failure, humiliation. Now imagine what that does to someone. You arrive in this vast, ethereal place. No walls, no chains, but also no purpose, no destiny, nothing to fight for anymore. The thing you spent your entire life chasing, it's gone. And worse, it was never real to begin with. The dragon scroll was blank. There was no secret, no power, just you. And the realization that everything you destroyed, everyone you hurt, all the rage and violence and betrayal, it was all for nothing. That's where Tai Lung's story in the spirit realm begins. Not with action, not with some grand quest, but with silence, with emptiness, with the slow, crushing weight of being alone with yourself for the first time in your life. And here's the thing about the spirit realm. It's not a place where time moves the same way. It's not a prison, but it's not freedom either. It's stagnant. You exist, but you don't live. You remember, but you can't change anything. So what does Tai Lung do, I think, at first? Nothing. He wanders, he broods, he replays the fight with Po over and over in his mind, trying to understand how it all went so wrong. Maybe he rages at the spirits around him. Maybe he isolates himself completely. But eventually, that rage starts to fade. Because rage needs fuel. It needs a target. And when you're surrounded by nothing but mist and echoes and the faint whispers of other fallen warriors, there's nothing left to fight. So the anger becomes something else. Grief, regret, and finally, acceptance. Think about Tai Lung's entire life. Everything he did was to prove himself worthy, to earn Shifu's approval, to become the dragon warrior. But in the spirit realm, none of that matters anymore. There's no one to impress, no title to claim, no destiny to fulfill. It's just him, alone, with the weight of every choice he ever made. And I think that's when the real punishment begins. Not physical pain, not torture, just time. Endless time to think about what he lost, what he threw away, what he could have been if he just let go of his pride. The spirit realm doesn't need to punish Tai Lung. He punishes himself every day, every moment, replaying the same thoughts over and over, wondering if things could have been different, wondering if Shifu ever really loved him, wondering if he was ever good enough. And the answer, the one he has to face over and over again, is that it doesn't matter anymore, because it's over. Now here's where it gets interesting, because Tai Lung isn't the only warrior in the spirit realm. Kai was there too, and we know what he did. He spent 500 years building an army, stealing chi, plotting his return. But Tai Lung, he didn't do that. He didn't seek power. He didn't try to escape. He didn't build anything. Why? I think it's because Tai Lung finally understood something Kai never could. Power doesn't fix you. Kai spent centuries obsessed with strength, with control, with proving he was unstoppable. But Tai Lung had already lived that life. He'd already been the strongest. He'd already torn through every obstacle in his path. And in the end, it didn't matter. The scroll was blank. So while Kai was out there consuming chai and preparing for war, Tai Lung just let go. Not in some peaceful, enlightened way. It wasn't redemption. It was exhaustion. It was the slow, painful realization that the thing he wanted most, validation, recognition, destiny, was never going to come. Not from Shifu, not from Oogway, not from anyone. He'd lost completely, and there was no rematch, no second chance, just an eternity of sitting with that loss. And maybe, just maybe, that's what changed him. Not a villain's arc, not a hero's journey. Just the quiet, inevitable erosion of ego that happens when you have nothing left to prove and no one left to prove it to. I think Tai Lung spent those years in silence, watching other warriors pass through, watching some, like Kai, cling to their anger and their need for revenge, and realizing that he didn't want to be like that anymore, not because he became good, but because he became tired. Tired of fighting, tired of wanting, tired of being angry at a world that was never going to give him what he thought he deserved. So he just existed in the mist, in the silence, a ghost of who he used to be. So when we see Tai Lung again in Kung Fu Panda 4, now it makes sense. He's not looking for revenge. He's not power hungry. He's not even really angry anymore. He's just there, a shadow of who he used to be, someone who's already fought his war and lost it a long time ago. The spirit realm didn't punish him. It didn't redeem him either. It just gave him time. Time to sit with his choices. Time to realize that everything he fought for was built on a lie he told himself. Time to understand that being the dragon warrior was never going to make him whole. And that's the tragedy of Tai Lung. He didn't need to be defeated by Po. He needed to be seen. He needed Shifu to say, "You're enough." But that never happened, and by the time he understood that, it was too late. The spirit realm was just the aftermath, the long, quiet years of living with that truth. So when he returns in Kung Fu Panda 4, he's not the same warrior who fell in the Valley of Peace. He's someone who's already been broken, already been humbled, already lost everything. And maybe that's why his story feels so different this time. Because he's not the villain anymore. He's just a warrior who finally ran out of things to fight. Think about that. A warrior with nothing left to fight for. No enemy, no goal, no purpose, just existence. That's what the spirit realm did to Tai Lung. It didn't destroy him. It just took away everything that made him who he was. And what's left is someone who's learned the hardest lesson of all, that sometimes the thing you want most is the thing that will never make you happy. So that's my take on what Tai Lung did in the spirit realm But I want to hear from you. Do you think he found some kind of peace? Or was it just endless regret? Do you think he and Shifu ever got closure, or is that wound still open? And here's the big one. Do you think Tai Lung wanted to come back, or was he fine staying in the spirit realm? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you want more deep dives like this, theories, character breakdowns, all the stuff the movies don't show you, hit subscribe because there's a lot more to uncover. Thanks for watching.